where my problem lies. I think the problem lies with this connection right here. So that is what I'm gonna take apart. If you've been following my channel for longer than a couple of months, maybe you noticed how I was being really consistent with the construction of the van, but all of a sudden I stopped. And that happened for two reasons. One is I basically ran out of funds. My savings has gotten pretty low to the point where I could make progress on the van, but then I wouldn't have like any money left over to actually begin my adventuring. So I basically got the van to the point where it was livable and I was ready to start. So I'd basically run out of funds to continue the build, but I also lacked a lot of motivation. I guess it seemed like because of all the delays that had happened, I'd begun doubting whether or not van life was going to happen altogether. And so I dragged my feet on making any more progress. The next thing for me to complete is the installation for my heater. I had all of the components. It wasn't a funding issue at that point. It was only my level of motivation to get it done. And yet I couldn't find the desire to make any progress on it at all. So I decided to wait until it was a need, then I would have the motivation to get it done. And so right now I'm in Phoenix. I'm actually staying with some friends and I'll be able to use like all their tools and stuff. But later this week, I'm headed up to Flagstaff, Arizona, where through the night it's in like the 20s. I've actually already stayed like 3 nights there and was able to survive with my sleeping bag and putting a heating blanket inside of the sleeping bag and then covers on top of that. I was super bundled up and I made it work. I survived, but it was not a pleasant experience, especially like getting out in the morning. Stepping out of my sleeping bag into like 30-degree interior in this van is not good. I don't want to have any repeats of that. So now I finally have like the need to do it. And I'm using that as the motivation to get this done. So the heater that I got is this Wave 3 Olympian heater. It was something that my friend recommended. And I got this propane tank for it. The first thing I'm gonna do is make sure I understand how all the connections work, and then I will work on creating a box for this and sealing it off so that if it ever leaks, it will be contained and not poison me. Got the propane tank and the hose, and now to make the connections and make sure that it works. Now I do know that there's supposed to be like a tape or whatever that you use for these connections to make sure that there's no leak. I do have the tape, but I am not worried about that yet because this is just a temporary first try. All right, so I got that there. I'm pretty sure this is all that's needed. One of the best parts about living in 2025 is if you don't know something, just look it up on YouTube. And one of my friends, when he learned that I'm staying at my friend's house in Phoenix and not actually staying the night in my van, I've actually stayed here 3 nights now. When I told him about that, he said that I was cheating, that I'm not actually living van life in the purest sense. But I'm doing what I want, so up yours, Nathan. As far as I can tell, all the connections are working well. It's just that I don't think that the propane is feeding into this valve properly. I bought this thing used, and so part of me is curious if I bought a faulty product. What I'm gonna do to try to make sure that the propane can be fed through this nozzle correctly is take things off and try to just investigate the insides and see what's going on. I've mentioned a few times up to now that I do have a background in engineering, and while you may think that I have like a mechanically oriented mind and I understand how things work, that's not really true. I'm not a very handsy person. I've done a lot of math problems up to this point and worked on the computer a bunch, but when it comes to having like hands-on experience and stuff, I might have like a marginally different leg up on picking up on things quickly. I think the biggest thing that my degree and background offer me is it gives me confidence that I have the capacity to learn whatever it is that I need to learn. So while I don't know this stuff, I believe I'm smart enough to learn it.
What are you doing with those?
I'm learning how it goes together.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't have shoes on.
Yeah, you don't have shoes on.
I don't wear my shoes on. My baby ruined them. My baby ruined them.
Your baby ruined them?
Uh-huh.
Was that Harper?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
He put me on door.
I see.
I will get come back. I can't come back out there.
Okay.
Let's go on my hand.
Okay, bye. That was adorable. I need to figure out if I can get propane to go through this port. I feel like that transfer of the material is where the problem lies, because propane is not getting to the igniter, and this is the only interface that concerns me. So let's see if I can get propane to go through here. If this doesn't work, I think I bought a heater from a bad seller on Facebook Marketplace, which means I'm out $200. I really hope that's not the case. If I turn this nozzle to open it up, you can hear it. So that means this regulator is doing its job, and the problem does not lie at this point in the system. So that's what I've learned so far. All right, I am neck deep in this already, and so I figured why not go all the way. I've taken a lot of this stuff apart, and I figure even if I break it, it was trying to investigate it, it was already broken anyway, so the worst I can do is break it even more and learn more about the guts of it all, so whatever. Well, it's been an all-day battle between me and this heater, and I admit to say that I have been defeated. I did a little bit too much finagling with some of the metallic connections, and one of them finally completely severed. I'm gonna get on their website and call the help desk and see if I can order the exact pipe that I need. I'll have to wait till tomorrow to do that, so to be continued. Well, I really didn't get a whole lot accomplished today. Right now I'm headed to the gym to just blow off some steam, get a workout in, and give myself a reason to want to be tired tonight. When I got up this morning, I was thinking best case scenario, I would have basically constructed the box that my propane tank is gonna go into. But the first step was to just make sure that everything, oh my gosh, I need to stop. Ah! I did not see that stop sign. I first wanted to make sure that it would turn on properly, and I did not complete that part. I ended up breaking one of the lines, and tomorrow I will make some phone calls and try to get that piece ordered. But what's remarkable is like my attitude the whole day, even though I didn't accomplish like anything, is that it's fine. And that's a huge contrast between what it was like when I was building up my van at my parents'. I remember whenever I needed something inside the house, I would step out of the van and run to the inside of the house and grab whatever it was and then run back, because there was like a sense of urgency that made it a very unenjoyable experience. And so if a day like today occurred while I was living at my parents', my attitude would have been horrible right now. But like, I'm fine, and I'm already doing the adventure. I'm here, and so the only urgency is, I guess, an increased level of comfort for my doing this. So yeah, there's like no rush, and I would have loved to make progress, and I think it would make for a more satisfying video to have like closure. I feel like this is more so gonna be like episode 1 in a 2-part series or 3-part series if things continue to go wrong. But yeah, it's basically what this ended up being, and I'm actually pretty okay with it. It's kind of not a big deal. But here's a little update for what my day was like. no adventuring and not really a lot of construction either, but I'm more so documenting my journey. If you'd like to keep up with my journey, then hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.